Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about smartphones. Now I've got a smartphone here for demonstration, right? These came out in 2007, right? As we all know, the iPhone, Steve Jobs and all that, and then you got the iPhone 3, and then they skipped 2 for some reason. Then you got the iPhone 4, 5, 5S, 6, 6S, whatever. And then alongside that, Android started up a couple of years later, and they started doing all the same sort of thing, and then they started to dominate the market. And then you had that brief Windows Phone sort of thing. And now, smartphones are ubiquitous, and they've been everywhere for quite a while now. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about my history of having a smartphone and why I'm not super keen on them in general, even though they are useful in life, and I kind of need one for my job now. So I was born in 1999, so I was kind of born into the era of the smartphone. I was growing up surrounded by smartphones and that kind of thing, in my teenage years. I was in high school and everyone would have a smartphone. In year 7 they all had Blackberries, and then by year 9 they all had iPhones, right? I was looking at all these phones and stuff, and I had like this little flip sort of Sony phone. I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't an Ericsson. It was some weird thing where it flipped up, and it had this game of this penguin that goes down and slides around, and it was all, I can't remember if it was a platform or if it was sort of like the predecessor to Angry Birds or what, but it was quite a fun little game, and that was all I needed. And it had that, and it had Snake, and I didn't really need anything else on it. And it could text. And I think I had a camera as well, but I never used the camera, although I probably would now. What I like about smartphones is the charging port. That's one good thing that has come from this advent of technology, is now we have one proprietary we have one connecting device, aka the USB, right? So you've either got ones that have USB, the old USB, or you've got ones that have the USB-C, right? And that's it. Right, and so you don't really have to worry. If you go to a friend's house, you go, "Oh, can I charge your phone?" You go, "Sure, mate, there you are, have at it," right? You don't have to bring your own charger everywhere. You don't go to a friend's house and go, "Oh, sorry, can I charge my phone?" It's like, "No, I've actually got a different phone from you," so you can't actually. And yeah, I know iPhones have lightning cables, and that's kind of an issue still, and so we got 3. But 3 is a hell of a lot better than the however many dozens we had before. Every single company having a different thing, different charging port for different models of phones as well. Really irritating that, and it just makes it hard when you go to old technology that you have like in a drawer. You don't have it alongside the charger, so you can't really turn it on unless you want to go buy these chargers. And I can't be bothered buying a charger for a 20-year-old phone, not doing that. So that is one good thing that has come from this, right? One good thing, okay? Another good thing is, general Wi-Fi data features. I mean, the features are incredible compared to, like, if you went to 1950 and you showed someone one of these things, they'd probably faint or call you a witch or something. And that's kind of neat. I like that. It is a useful tool, right? And I need it for my work, and it certainly helps me with my job, and I couldn't do my job without it. But I don't know, it's a bit of a love-hate relationship, and it's grown more love as time has gone on, right? I got my first smartphone in 2015, in February of 2015, and I got some like Windows phone. I can't remember what. It was like a Nokia something, I don't remember, but it was a Windows phone basically, right? And I remember when I was in the shop getting it, I didn't want it. I felt like I was like opening Pandora's box, and that I was going to become like all these drones and just sit there and do this. I know it's a faux pas to talk about like, "Oh, everyone's on the smartphone now all the time, it's a terrible thing." But I didn't want to become like that. I didn't want to become another one of those people on the bus like this. I didn't want that. I didn't want to be online all the time. I don't want the internet everywhere I go. I don't want all these features at a drop of a hat. I kind of want to have, a camera and a telephone and a navigation fucking compass or whatever. I like to have all those things, and a DS. That's all. I'm fine having those 4 things in 4 different things. Okay, I don't need it all to be in one device. But now I have one in one device. So I got that smartphone and I hated it. I really despised it. I'm sure it was a shitty phone. It was a Windows phone, so of course it was. But I remember I got rid of it after 3 weeks, and I returned it, and I just thought, it was almost like a curse was lifted from my conscience. And I was able to go back to a pure civilization of just having like the old Nokia. I think I had a Nokia brick at that time. And then a year after that, I got a smartphone. I got a smartphone for the dumbest reason. I got a smartphone to impress a girl because I realised that if I walked around, because I started to get people commenting on my phone saying it was a drug dealer phone because it was a proper Nokia brick, like the old Nokia bricks. And now the only people I see using those sort of Nokia bricks are like proper like drug addicts and drug dealers and stuff like that. And it's like, so now having one of those phones, you can't really do it. You can't get away with it in a professional setting without people looking down on you, because I'm looking down on other people and I've probably got one of the more charitable perspectives on people using those kind of phones, right? So I don't like the fact that the social landscape has facilitated this this approach to people having old phones and not wanting to, move along with the times as we're all meant to do, right? So I got my second smartphone in I think October 2016, right? And I had that, and I got Facebook on it, and I got whatever, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Snapchat, all the things that people were using around that time. I remember I was on Snapchat for 3 weeks, and then there was one point where I saw a Snapchat of someone just cooking. And I thought, I can cook myself. I don't need to see someone else doing it. So I uninstalled the app, right? And then I was on Facebook. I've been on Facebook anyway, because I had it on the computer. But then I realized that I was going on Facebook the first thing in the morning. The second I woke up, on the phone. Dun, dun, dun. And there's so much negative stuff on Facebook, even more now, but back then there was plenty as well. So I'd be seeing monkeys getting tortured in zoos and stuff at 6 in the morning. And then I'd be wondering why I was having a shit day all the time and why I was walking around so miserable all the time. It's because I was being, exposed to all this sort of stuff. And it's awful, it's foul, miserable, nasty stuff that is knocking around on these platforms. And I don't want to be exposed to it, especially not at 6 in the morning, not when I've first woken up. I want, sort of happy stuff. I want kitten gets saved from tree, or I don't know, old woman gets a tetanus shot and, I don't know, lives for another 30 years. That's not how tetanus works. But anyway, I want to see positive stuff. I don't want to see negative stuff. And social media likes to spread negative stuff. And social media is spread via smartphones, or smartphones spread social media, because now it's on, here, right? I've got WhatsApp on there. I've got Instagram, and you can't get away from Instagram because it's on, there it is. Okay, there's no data, but I can just get it on the browser. I don't even need the app, and it still works fine on this. So I don't really understand why we need the apps for everything. But they're always bugging me to get the app. Every time I go on it, I have to close a pop-up that says, "Why don't you get the app? The app will be so much more fun." It's it's not. The only reason this is annoying is because you keep putting this fucking pop-up on me. I don't need the app. Right? Because everything I can do on this, and anything that I can't do on it is proprietary and done on purpose so that you make me get the app. So fuck off with that, right? Just let me do it on the browser, right? And I'd be happy. Now I can't even really use Instagram properly from my computer. I can upload photos, but I certainly can't do anything to do with stories. I can't upload a YouTube short from my computer. I have to do it from the phone. Why? Just let me do it from the computer. I know it's vertical video, it's designed for phones, right? And the idea would be I could shoot a thing on my phone and then upload it straight. Yeah, let that be a feature for people that want to do that. But why can't I upload a short from the computer? I just don't get it. Unless I get one of these Android emulation device things that go on the computer. And I tried one of those. They're so laggy and it's just kind of shit and it's annoying and yeah, and it doesn't work very well anyway, and I didn't like it, so I packed that in and just, gave up and went for things on the phone. Before I got a smartphone, do you know what I used to do on the bus? I used to read. I used to read books. Then I got a smartphone and I stopped. Slowly, it wasn't an instantaneous thing, but over, 3 years, I went from reading 20, 30 books a year to reading none now. I've not read any books so far this year, and I didn't read any books last year, which is bad. I've got one book that I need to pick up and start reading. Maybe by the point this video goes out, I'll have read some of it. But yeah, what I don't like about the smartphones is just how ubiquitous they are with everything, and how they're kind of shoved down our throats. And if you don't want one or don't have one, then you're kind of looked at as a Luddite, or you're stuck in the past, and you just need to keep up with the modern day. And why can't you keep up with the modern day? And also, smartphones are a very good way of keeping people addicted, right? I plan on making a full video about gambling at some point, because I've worked in the gambling industry and I fucking despise gambling, right? And I would never ever gamble again, right? I would never touch gambling for the rest of my life, right? But what I really dislike is on the smartphones, you can get like, 888 bingo or whatever fucking gambling apps on your phone, so you can, tap into your addiction from anywhere, anytime, no matter how bad it is, right? And they keep so many databases on your personal profile about you and about your tendencies, your gambling tendencies, and like when you log on, what's your strategy, blah, 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 blah. And they manipulate you into gambling more by sending you various offers and sending you notifications at certain times and that kind of thing, because it reminds you that you could be doing a bit of gambling now. It's like, oh yeah. It's like if you tell someone who's trying to quit smoking, it's like, you want a fag? You want to smoke? You want to smoke? You want to smoke? You want to smoke? Here, have a smoke. Take one. Take a smoke. Come on, have a smoke. Have a fucking smoke, right? You just keep doing that to this person who's like really trying to quit and they're kind of agitated anyway. They're probably going to end up, caving in and taking that cigarette because you just kept shoving the idea down their throat. And that's what they do with these things on smartphones, is they just, constant notifications like, do this, do that. Oh, go on this app, do this, sign up for this service that we've also got. Post a picture on this, get back into the dating. I've got a fucking girlfriend. Stop giving me fucking emails and fucking notifications about Tinder and Bumble and bullshit. Stop, right? Why'd you just stop bothering? Leave me alone, all right? I don't need this anymore. I keep getting fucking emails, right? Oh, we noticed you haven't been on Tinder for a long time. Why'd you fucking think I've not been on Tinder for a long time, you knobhead, right? It's really fucking irritating. Like, I don't know what they want me to do. Do they want me to just go back on Tinder and just use the app? Just for the sake of using it? I'll use it like Facebook or something. What do they want from me? Leave me the fuck alone, right? And that's what they all do. They're all constantly barraging me, going, oh, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this, you should sign up for this thing. I don't want any of this. Stop asking me to sign up for shit. Stop asking me to fucking use your app. Stop asking me to download your app. Stop asking me to participate in your service and do your survey and fucking upload a video here and do this and upload this picture here. Fucking sick of it. And this is why I'm so sick of smartphones, is because they're just constantly negotiating with your brain, because your brain knows that you shouldn't be on the phone all the time, right? And this thing wants you to be on your phone all the time because it wants you to engage with algorithms and it wants you to, give away your data. That's why the sign-up sheets are all so long for things. They want you to give your data. They want you to post on things. They want you to tweet. They want you to do Blue Sky posts or whatever. They want you to make Facebook posts and fucking Instagram pictures and stuff like that. I'm doing exactly what fucking Google wants right now by uploading videos every fucking day or every 2 days or however often I do it, right? And you know what's really frustrating is I'm giving all these companies exactly what they want. And the smartphone has changed the landscape of the internet for the worse. Like when I was growing up and when I first got the internet, I was 8, 9 years old, right? And it was just before smartphones had kind of taken off, right? And back then, you would have, like Newgrounds, you'd have, various forums for things and, and it all felt semi-independent, or lots of small companies. You had Congramate or whatever it was called, that had platform racing on it. You had so many, and like 8-Ball Pool and all sorts of stuff like that. Now all of these things are owned by like 5 companies in particular. They're owned by Facebook, Meta as they're meant to be called. I'm not calling them fucking Meta. Facebook, right? One owned by Facebook, owned by Google, owned by, I guess, Twitter, Apple, and Snapchat. What else is there? Reddit, 6, Amazon, 7, which does most of the web hosting for most of the internet, or at least a good chunk of the internet. So what's that? 7 companies that own basically everything, and then Netflix, which is one. And these are all the websites that people use now. People don't use like a wide swarm of various websites. Now we all, jump from Facebook to YouTube to Blue Sky to Instagram, back to Facebook, back to YouTube, on to Netflix now, back to fucking whatever, go on Amazon. It's the same few websites, whereas before it used to be so much better than this, and smartphones caused that. And now all the various, things for desktop as well are being redesigned so that It's more all-encompassing for people that are on smartphones, so the buttons are bigger for people using touch screens and stuff like that. And it's just a pain in the ass because I've got a mouse and keyboard. I know how to click a button. I know how to type something in. You don't need to do all this. Please stop. Right? Pack it in, okay? But they're not interested in packing it in because it makes them more money. They know what they're doing, and they're doing it very, very well, right? They're getting us addicted to smartphones. And when I say they, I mean the 6 companies I just named, plus, I don't know, whoever the fuck else does it, right? But generally, it's companies like that, multi-tech, California or Texas-based companies. I mean, they can be from anywhere, really. TikTok as well, I forgot about TikTok. That's another one. I hate all of this stuff, right? But because of my line of work, as in the film industry, in the media industry and that kind of thing, doing events and stuff like that, I need to be on social media. I need to participate in social media. I need to play the game, right? And I have to play nice with all these companies. And I hate the fact that I have to do that, right? I'd love to throw this thing down a well and never log on again, right? It would be a bit hellish at first, and I'd feel very, very bored because I'd become accustomed to the instant dopamine rush. But eventually I'd get used to it, and it'd be fine. It'd be like quitting drinking or quitting smoking or whatever. You have a few weeks where it's a little bit, oh God, I want one, and then you get over it, right? And what frustrates me about these devices is they're not going away. They're only becoming more ubiquitous, and they're getting smaller and smaller, and eventually it's going to go from being a smartphone to being, maybe it'll be a chip in the eye or a chip in the brain or some kind of like GUI fucking thing in your eyes or something like that. It's going to get more and more ubiquitous, and the idea of not having a smartphone, not engaging with all of this stuff, is going to become harder and harder and harder, right? And I don't say this from the perspective of a Luddite, right? Even though I am a wee bit of a Luddite, right? I don't have anything against technology in and of itself. What I have a strong dislike for is the impact that it's having on our overall collective. I remember I was walking through the park once and I saw a group of about 6 teenagers, and they were all on their phones and they all had headphones in. What are you fucking doing? You're all wearing headphones. You're all sat together and you're all in various little worlds. And people wonder why the new generation doesn't go and do as much as before. It's because, we're all kind of like this. We're locked in. And as much as, we like to joke about people go, phone bad, but you don't like smartphones, you're just a Luddite and all that. And I understand the perspective because sure, smartphones and social media and stuff like that have given us the ability for freedom of information to be spread across the world in as fast a manner as possible. And it's made us all a bit more aware of some of the, problems that go on in the world and stuff like that. And maybe it has benefited us in some form, right? But I just don't feel the benefit, right? Sure, it's all well and good being able to scan a check, right, with my banking app, right? But the consequence of that is that all the bank branches get shut. So I can't go to a bank now and take money out or withdraw money out or put money in. I have to do it all on the internet. Monzo banks, they don't even have bank branches. You just have to trust them. I don't even know where they're based. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what Monzo HQ's like. I've never been. I've never spoken to someone from Monzo. I have to just trust this nebulous app with my money. And yeah, I don't have to go to fucking Monzo. I could go to one that has a bank branch around me. But as time goes on, more and more bank branches get shut. Eventually, they're all going to be closed, and they're all going to be like Monzo. And then what do I do, right? So yeah, there's the options now, but as this technology gets more and more ubiquitous, as it gets more and more widespread and commonplace, and it spreads to every corner of the globe, and even the least developed country, the poorest civilization, is able to have smartphones to their heart's content with full access to Wi-Fi and data packages and all that sort of stuff. Even once we've had all of that and it's spread everywhere, then what? What do we do after that? When we live in this post-smartphone, smart everything world, which we are very steadily, quite quickly actually heading towards. I mean, I presume by the year 2040, there won't be a soul out there that won't have a smartphone that hasn't purposefully, logged themselves off. And I don't know, I don't like it. I don't like these devices. I don't like what they do for, civilization in general, but I do need it for my job. I need it for my work, and so I can't get rid of it. I'm stuck with this thing and I have to just keep playing the game. And I suppose I'm just going to have to accept that. So, yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? I've got this thing forever, and Eventually it will take a different form. It won't look like this. Maybe we'll start having round smartphones, but they won't even look like smartphones. Maybe buttons will come back. I wouldn't mind buttons coming back. I know the keyboards on Blackberries were a bit small, but we could do something. I don't know what, but something at least. Yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I know it's a bit of a ranty one, but it does come from a place of sincerity. I do have problems with these devices that I just try and figure out how to put it into words, and I don't want to come off like, oh, technology is so fucking awful, or like, oh, the phone's bad. And I know this will probably get posted on the Phone Bad website, subreddit or whatever, right? Hi to them. Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. So, yeah, leave your thoughts on everything I had to say. If you disagree with me, let me know why. If you agree with me, I suppose you don't really need to let me know why. Just say I agree with you. Or maybe expand on some points in your own way, with your own worldview and your own experience. Tell me your story with smartphones. When did you get one? Did you get one after 2016, before 2016? Did you have one right from the beginning? Have you only just gotten one? Who knows? But you do, I suppose. Yeah, that'll be all from me. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye.